Hello, my name is Lori. Welcome to my channel. We are quilters. It is Build a Block Wednesday, and we are working on the Study in Scarlet quilt. Last week, we created 4 at a time flying geese, and I read off the list of parts and pieces that you needed to cut. But I owe you an apology. Because we were traveling, I forgot all about putting the updated coloring sheet and the pattern with the video last week. So I have corrected that, and I am putting both of those here with this video down in the comments. All you have to do is click on the word more if you're watching this on your phone. And it is a printable PDF. So let me take you over to the cutting table and let's talk about the parts and pieces and what we need to make this week to finish up this block. Last week when we were making things, we cut out all the pieces and we made 4 at a time flying geese that you can set aside for right now. You will need to do some cutting of things in half, and I still have my note there that I need to cut my 4.5 background pieces. I'm going to worry about that in a few minutes. That way I won't accidentally chop those in half. For right now, I need the 5-inch ring pieces. I'm going to, should have just left well enough alone and let those together, but I didn't. I am going to cut them in half once diagonally. And these may be a bit oversized, so do not panic if they don't line up exactly with the other pieces we're going to make. So the 5-inch blocks, cut those in half, and you should have 4 more 3-inch background pieces, and I'm going to line those all up. And I'm also going to cut those in half because we need those triangles to make the pieces for today. So on the diagonal, cut in half, as neat as you please. And there we have those triangles. The first piece we need to assemble is this triangle right here with the square and 2 triangles attached to it. So let me pull up the pieces. We're going to make 4 of these units. We will have 4 other squares left for these outside corners. So we only need 4 of these for right now. Make sure, oh, I did count right. Yay! And you'll notice that when I'm laying these down, they're a little bit bigger. And that's exactly what we want, because we're going to need a 1/4 inch seam allowance out here on the end. So there I have it laid out. And we will need to be careful with the bias here. So we are going to start by sewing this together. Let me set up the other camera stand at the sewing machine. Be right back. To make this piece, I'm going to put the top triangles aside, and I'm going to line up my squares and pieces this way so that the bottom edge is lined up, and I'm going to feed all 4 of those through the sewing machine. Let me do that. Let me do some quick sewing. Before I sew these together, I am going to nip this ear off with my scissors just because it makes it easier and there's less bulk there to mess with. I'm just cutting it straight along the square. And then I'm going to add on the piece. So I lay it back down on my cutting mat, and I can see how this piece is going to go together. Let me move these out of the way. So I can see that now I'm going to line it up along this side, And I'm going to sew right along here, right along that top edge. So I actually should turn it this way so that I have it lined up to sew. It's done. Let me speed piece this through. And hopefully I have laid these all out. You saw me fiddle with the one piece because it has such a light design on it. Sometimes you don't even really notice. Now I see that these are coming out. Let me show you. That is right at the 1/4 inch. So they should be perfect, I hope, when I press them. Let me use my thread amoeba. And I will go press these to the triangle, and I will be right back. If you are reading along with the directions, this is where it becomes as clear as mud that it says use the 45-degree line, that's this one right here, to help you trim this area to a 1/4 inch. So if I put it on here, I don't have enough space here, so I need to put it on the other side of the square. And I need to pull it back so that there is a 1/4 inch here. And I see that I'm going to trim off very little to have it be exact. I know some of you are thinking, oh, I could probably skip this step. Now, if you skip this step, you will not have a nice, accurate, I mean, it's not going to be off by much, but it won't be completely accurate either. So let me put that one up there and do a little trimming. I mean, it is not off by much, just a little tiny bit. Hang on, and I'll be right back to show you how to put on the last piece. I'm adding this solid part of the 5-inch half square, and I can either pinch it and line it up, or I can use this corner to line it up. And I see that it's a little bit bigger. And if it makes you feel better, stick a pin in it. It will be okay. And either way you sew this, you're going to have to sew with the triangle point. So you'll need to proceed carefully as you go. And you should be sewing right above, right there, so that you're going to have your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Let me set up all 4 of these, and then I will sew them together. And as always, I like to trim because I am not good at, I cannot gauge, you know, this fabric is a little lighter in weight and stretchier than this blue fabric, which is a very nice heavy fabric. I'm not good at gauging how to get the stretch to work out exactly for both those different weights of fabrics. So I always make my blocks oversized so I can trim, because trimming is perfect. And I was watching a show the other day, and the person doing the presentation, the creator, was saying that she hates to trim and she just sews things accurately because she was having carpal tunnel issues because she was trimming so many pieces. Well, I do it in small steps, and I never push myself to work that hard. So trimming is the best answer for me. Otherwise, I'm frustrated. Let me adjust the camera to the sewing machine so you can see what it is I am doing. And if you need to, grab your stylus or a pin, because a pin will work just as well to hold that point. Pulling my pin out, and I'm sewing right above that little X. Just one thread above. Let me show you what I did. Clip off my amoebas. And there, because of the way I sewed it, well, you can tell it's a dark, dreary day here. It's so gray, even with my bright lights. The point is perfect there. Not that the world will come to an end if it's not. But if you sew above that little X, that's what you get. So let me finish sewing these and we will do some trimming. You can see on some of these that the bigger triangle is about 1/8 of an inch bigger. It will be okay because we are going to trim that off after we press. So let me take this over to the iron, give it a quick pressy press, and I will be back in just a moment and we will trim it up and have it done. I'm pretty pleased with the way these points turned out. I think only one of them, maybe not. This one, it nipped the very tippy tip of the point off, but at a distance you can't even tell. So I'm very pleased. Now to trim these up, you need to make sure you're using your lines because you're not going to be trimming off much. So this ruler has a 45-degree line, and I have drawn on the other 45-degree line, but some rulers have them going both directions. So I'm going to line that up and just trim around the whole thing. Wait till you see how little we get. But if we don't trim that little bit off, it isn't perfect. I mean, there it is. That's all there is, that little tiny bit. But now it is perfect. So let me trim all of these and we will get ready to assemble the entire block. Based on this little tiny pile of trimmings from 4 blocks, most of it is corners that are dog ears. I don't know that I would necessarily, you might be able to get away with not trimming if you're not an exact kind of person, but maybe. If you notice that, well, I shouldn't even say that out loud. So I take it back. Oh wait, you can't take back something once it's out there. I'm going to go get the other pieces and we are going to look into assembling this block. Let's lay out this block so we can sew it together. Let's start with the very center. Doesn't matter which way it goes. It's not really directional. Oh, let me raise up the camera so we can see more of the ironing surface. The 4.5-inch blocks go around the center. It goes that way. That little, I'm telling you, if I had to pick a background fabric again, it would not be this one. But I do like this blue. All right, there we go. And the yellow 4-at-a-time flying geese go out at the end of those. Move that up just a bit so I can put this one down here and here. And then we have the 4 units that we just made to make the rings. Oops, almost turned that one the wrong way. And then last and least, we have the 4 by 2.5 and the outside corner stones. That looks great. Now I know you can't see down here, so I am not going to lay those out, but it is looking good. To assemble this, I'm going to assemble this section, or this section, whichever you want it to be, as a 4-patch. So I'm just going to stack those up because they are all the same. And I'm going to assemble those just like, and I can put all 4 of those corners there. Now the next assembly that I see, I can assemble the big squares with the flying goose on the end. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to assemble this unit and these units. And I will be back in just a moment from assembling those. Then the only one that's unattached to anything is the center. Hang on, let me go sew. I'll be right back. Okay, my major parts are sewn together. Now I need to think a little bit about how I'm going to press this. So I really would like to press toward this. So if I press this up and this down, my seams will nest across the top anyway. So let me get to pressing the way I just showed you, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'll set it up so that I press for you. I'm going to press toward the big square. It means it's easiest if I turn it over. Press that way. And this one, if I press toward the rectangle, if I just lay it and flip it, because you know I like to speed press too. 4 at a time is about the limit. And then it starts to distort a little. All right, that takes care of those. And now for these, if I want it to go toward the rectangle, oops, sorry about that earthquake, I need to hold it this way and push toward the rectangle. Now that I have those parts ironed, I need to turn them back around, and there we go. I need to sew this seam yet to make that unit 4 in the 4 corners. Be right back. I have the pieces, the big 4 corner pieces together. I'm pressing toward the smaller sections, and hopefully it will work out. Now the top and bottom row are basically the same thing, so I can lay those out. Corner squares are in the corners, and it goes through, and almost put that in the wrong place. It'll make a diamond shape, and we press that toward the center, so that will work out well. Then we have the center row to put together, and it is the center and the 2 pieces. So I'm going to go assemble this row and this row. Okay, I have my rows together. The center is pressed, the center is pressed outward. And then these, because this is a big solid piece, these are pressed inward. So these will nest nicely as we sew the rows together to get the final block. Here it is. I'll add a better picture at the end. Keep in mind that the centers go out and that the top and the bottom row go in, and then it all nests. This block worked out really well as a nest. Let me take a regular photograph and pop it in so you can see it. So here we have it, diamond ring. And if you listen to the chapter, you know why I picked a ring that looks like a gold wedding band. I hope to see you next week for more Study in Scarlet, and I hope you'll join me on Friday for Blabfest Friday. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, help my channel grow. Have a great rest of the week.